Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to the world of options. I want to help you guys understand them and educate you a little bit about them, how they work, what they do, how you profit, how you lose. A little bit of everything in this video, but basically this video is for understanding the options chain. So this is the Thinkorswim platform. This is my setup for options and options only. I have a 1 year, 1 day chart, 5 day, 15 minute, 5 day, 5 minute, and a 2 minute chart. I was on the 1 minute for a live this morning. So on Thinkorswim, when you want to trade an option, you want to come here to the trade tab. Under the trade tab, it's going to give you each week for the weekly options and so on and so forth. You can put your strike price to whatever you want. If you put all, it's going to show you every single option that's available. I don't use the all tab, but everybody's different. I only want to see 20 options in either direction. So breaking it down in the options chain, this is implied volatility. Okay, implied volatility determines, there are so many factors in options, guys, but implied volatility, you do not want this to be greater than, I would say 75%. Okay, if the implied volatility is greater than 75%, you're going to have trouble making money on the option, even though the option, let's say you made a bet that you thought stock XYZ that's currently trading at $10 was going to go up today. So you bought a $12 call option. But the implied volatility was 95% or greater. What that means is that as the stock price is climbing, going in your direction, your options contract is either staying neutral or losing money, even though the price of the stock is going up. Now actually, let me take a look at something real quick. Let's look at Lucid. Okay, Lucid is a perfect example today. Notice the implied volatility on Lucid Motors. All right, Lucid Motors today had been started tanking around 4 a.m. lost about $5 in value. I'm not sure if it was Wall Street Bets plays or what. I know they had some kind of news. They didn't meet an end goal or something. I personally think it's a great spot to pick up shares. But anyhow, as far as option goes, the implied volatility is greater than 100. Meaning, doesn't matter what option you buy, because none of them are going to make you any money. It's going to be very little money that you're going to make because of implied volatility. Implied volatility, the market makers change because stocks make big moves like Lucid did today, if that makes sense, okay? So if a stock comes out with great news, like, Lucid Motors just discovered a battery that never needs charging. Okay, the stock's going to go through the roof. It's going to shoot up beyond belief, right? So what the market makers are going to do to curb people from becoming millionaires in a couple of hours is they're going to raise the implied volatility. So that if the stock shoots up $300, the people are going to make a fraction of the amount of money on the option than they would had implied volatility been less than 75%. If that makes sense, okay? So whenever you're trading an option, you always want to look at implied volatility. If it's greater than 75%, and that's kind of high, you're better looking. You are better off looking for option contracts with lower implied volatility. So let's just click through a couple of these ticker symbols and see what I mean. Okay, Apple is 50, 30, 50, 40, 30 on AMD, SPRT, 200, 300. I would not touch SPRT. Okay, again, here we got some of these out of the money that are really high on PLTR. At the money is not so bad. Uber, you know, typical, not bad. PFE, not bad. Zoom, not bad. Nvidia, not bad. So you want to stay away from options like SPRT also that have this massive implied volatility. Because, again, if the stock is going up and you bought a call and the implied volatility is that high, your contract is either staying sideways, which means you're not making any money at all, or in fact you are losing money while the price is going in your direction. That's what causes contracts to be worthless. When implied volatility, on the other hand, is this high, what you would want to do if you had enough money to buy 100 shares is sell these contracts. Why? Because they're going to expire worthless with that kind of implied volatility. Okay? Alright, so next on the list is open interest. Open interest is how many contracts are open at this moment. Okay, so when you are buying a contract, you want to buy a contract that's liquid. Okay? Doesn't mean you want to go way out of the money on it, because a lot of these could be people selling these contracts because they know they're going to expire worthless and they want to collect $460 on Friday. Because if this stock price does not reach $36 by Friday, whoever bought these contracts from the sellers are going to lose their entire investment. Okay, so you want to sell contracts when implied volatility is high, and you want to buy contracts when implied volatility is low. Okay? So open interest, again, is the amount of contracts that are currently open for the day. The volume is how many contracts have changed hands already today. Okay? So this here shows you that there is still 12,000 contracts open today. This number tells you that 16,789 contracts have already changed hands between the buyer and the seller, which means they opened it and then they closed it. And open interest is how many are left on the table that are held by either side. Okay? Delta is going to tell you how much money you're going to make per dollar move. Theta tells you how much money you're going to lose per day due to time decay. The probability in the money tells you the probability of this contract expiring in the money. So by Friday, you have a 50% chance of being profitable on this contract. The bid and the ask is what you're going to buy the contract for, and the bid is what you're going to sell the contract for. Okay? So the ask is what you're paying to buy the contract, and then when you're ready to sell, that's the price you're going to sell it for. Now there are several ways to manipulate that, which maybe I'll get into here. But right now I just want you to understand the options chain. Okay? The left side of your screen is for calls. Right here, the right side of your screen is for puts, and that is usually cross-platform. Doesn't matter what platform you trade on. The left is going to be calls, the right is going to be puts. Okay, so I hope this quick video helps you understand the basics of the options chain and how they work. There are other variables that go into it, but these are the most important things that you want to consider when buying an options contract. Okay, you want the low implied volatility, and you want to make sure there's plenty of open interest in the contract price that you're looking at, and you want to make sure the bid and the ask are not too far apart. All right? Because sometimes you'll see contracts where the ask price is $5 on the ask and the bid is $2. Okay? Automatically you're losing $300 the second you purchase that contract, because the most you can sell it for is $2. So it's going to cost you $500 to buy it, and if you go to sell it right away, you're only going to get $200. So you're immediately taking a loss of $300. All right? So you want to make sure that the spread of your contract is tight, meaning like 16 cents, 18 cents, $2.38, $2.45. You want that spread nice and tight. If you stick with name brand companies, you know, Apple, AMD, PLTR, Uber, Pfizer, Zoom, Nvidia, Tesla, Intel, okay, you are gonna not have to worry about the spread as much as if you were trying to trade, you know, these meme stocks. Let's look at BBIG from today. BBIG has a high implied volatility. One of our members in our group said she made about 40% profit off of BBIG today. So notice the implied volatility is massively moving. Okay, it never stops moving. She could have got in maybe around 150, 200, sold. You know, there's so many factors that go into it. You just want to be very mindful. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole today. And the spreads are not bad. I mean, you got 240, 245, 260, 265. So this one's actually not bad. Let me see. Let me go to something like Rig. All right. Rig actually is not bad either. The implied volatility is kind of high on it. Rig is a shipping company. It's pretty much a useless stock. But here's a good example. Like, you know, there's people that are in these contracts, and the spread is 0 to 3, 0 to 2, 0 to 18. That means you're buying this for $18, but when you go to sell it, it's worth 0. So you're not going to be able to sell it, which tells me that these people here are trying to sell these contracts to unsuspecting people that don't know about options. And they do that. I mean, a lot of these people are market makers. You know, they put these contracts for sale, just like an insurance agent would do. An insurance agent would do. So, I wanted to give you a quick rundown of how they work, a basic understanding of them. If you wanted to buy an options contract, let's say on Apple, and let's look at the price of Apple. All right, Apple went up today. So, at the bell, it went from 152 to 154. So it made a $2 move, all right? Notice Apple is done in $2.50 increments, all right? So had you bought this at the bell, you could have paid, let's just say you bought it for 94 cents. With that $2 move, you would have profited about 130 bucks, give or take a few dollars, off of that initial 5-minute bar. So let's look at, so you would have made that in 4 or 5 minutes. This is a 2-minute chart. So you would have made 150 bucks on one contract, somewhere around there, on Apple. Now here's where options get tricky, okay? When I buy options, I'm only looking to capture between the first 5 and the first 10 minutes of the bell. That's it. And then I'm out of the option. I close it out. I'm done for the day. Okay? If you bought 20 of these contracts on Apple this morning, you'd have about $2,030. I prefer to use stocks like Amazon and Google, mRNA, BNTX, because they make bigger moves, but typically they make them on Monday and Tuesday as opposed to the end of the week. So here's where options get tricky. So that same $135 profit that you would have had in the first 5 minutes of trading, had you still had that contract right here, your option would be worthless. It'd be worth $0 right now. Why is that? Because of time decay. Okay, now if Apple just does this and trades sideways and comes down and bounces around, which Apple typically does, if you look at the 1 year chart or the daily chart for 5 days, it'll make a move and then sideways. It'll make a move and then sideways. It'll make a move and then sideways. It'll make a move and then this contract would have been somewhat valuable if you held it. But for the most part, on any given day, unless there's news or a major event or there's abnormally high volume on a ticker, your best chance of profit is getting in and out of that option as quickly as possible. Because the further and longer it trades sideways and doesn't really move, at the end of the day, even if it closes up here at the end of the day, you're going to be negative. I would get $100. We'll just call it that. Even though it's above your strike price, time to gain now has ate away all your profit. All right? And your contract is now worth less than it was when you initially bought it here at the bell because of time decay in the sideways movement. Options only make money when a stock makes big moves. If a stock opens and you bought that contract and it trades sideways all day, at the end of the day, you're going to be negative on that contract. And you just gave away whatever the price is for the day, if not more. $25 or more you gave away, because that's what you're losing each day you stay in this contract and it doesn't move in your direction. Alright, so you guys understand that? I hope you do. Again, the way I personally trade options, I'm an option sniper now, thanks to one of the members in our group, Russo. I typically just sold options, but I've been doing so well with them, I can't believe I just never did it before. Yeah, so a big shout out to Russo for bringing my attention to that. But what I found, guys, is, the most profitable way to do options is buy the weekly contracts. I typically, depending on, what the chart tells me, there are many factors going into picking a contract price that you want to get into. If you want to be safe, it's always best to either buy right here at the money or right here out of the money, because with a sharp move up, I mean, just like this, a $5 move, your $242 contract would have been worth $230, something like that, in a $5 move, which happened today in the first couple of minutes. So had you been down here, that $5 move wouldn't have paid you much because you were too far out of the money. All right, so the further out of the money you go, these contracts can be extremely profitable. All right, these are the contracts that you used to see on stocks like Tesla all over Facebook. You had these guys buying these contracts for like $3, $50, not on Tesla, but as an example. And Tesla would open up and run up 100, 200 points, $200, which in turn would turn this $3 contract into a $1,200 contract. And they had 500 of them. So in essence, they make in $350,000 on their contracts, giving you the illusion, again, the illusion that options can make you rich. Can they make you rich? Absolutely. Are you going to see Tesla move like that every day? No. But you can see them make good moves on a daily basis. But buying out of the money contracts is very risky. Okay? On Amazon, I do buy out of the money contracts. And I'll show you why. So let's look at the chart real quick. So notice here on Monday, Amazon went from $33.50 all the way up to $34.33, a $70 move, okay? So if we go from 3,500 and we go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, doesn't even have it, all right? But Amazon is one that I do buy way out of the money options, because Amazon has the potential to give you great returns. The people in our group have seen these several times over the last few weeks, and they've seen them within 10 minutes of the market open. I get in and out. But for that $60 move, you're making over $2,000 in profit on one contract. Okay? But now there's only specific ticker symbols that I will ever do that on. And the ones that I personally like are Amazon, Google, Google has the potential to make moves like that. Make big moves in a day. Sometimes it'll trade sideways, but typically Monday and Tuesday they'll make a move. Some days they don't. Again, it's all based on the charts. Friday it made a nice move, and Friday the option contracts were cheap. mRNA is another one that can make big moves. And BNTX. Those are my top four that I've been playing these options with. That I've been super profitable with. A lot of people like to play these smaller options, but 9 times out of 10 they're just giving all their money to the option seller. Again, option selling is going to be the most profitable way to go. Just like shorting is more profitable than going long will ever be. Alright, most people lose money because they're betting in the wrong direction and because they don't know what they're doing when they're day trading. But selling options is more profitable than buying naked calls and puts. However, I have found a flaw in the system. Again, thanks to Russo. Can't thank her enough for getting me to dig into that. But when I dig into some guys, I don't give up till I get the answers I'm looking for. I happen to get the answers I was looking for doing that. So, options for everybody is going to be different based on who you are. Now, again, I only play the weeklies, and when I buy them each day, I'm only holding them for a matter of minutes. I'm getting in and out. Now, if you have a company like Lucid, what is the ticker symbol for that? LCID, I think. So, when you have a ticker symbol like Lucid, right? It was at a high of $64. Relatively new company. I personally think Lucid is, has a ways to go. I think they're going to be around for a while. So, if I was going to buy a long-term contract on it, I would go out to January of 2023, and just picking at the money, a $20 contract for $730. All right. Now every dollar that Lucid moves, you're gonna make $68. Every dollar goes up or down. Doesn't matter what direction. If it goes up $1, you're gonna make $68. If it goes down $1, you're gonna lose $68. Okay? But here's where it gets good. As far as time decay goes, you're only losing 1 penny per day. You can't beat that, guys. Alright? You just can't beat that. Now look at this. There's a lot of smart people out there. I don't know what that was. Was the government recording me? So this is already traded 1,807 contracts today. Alright, now this is where I would be trading the contracts at if I was to trade this, because there's 8,000 contracts with open interest for 2 years out, and look at your implied volatility. It's less than 100. I wish I would have looked at that earlier, but now you go to today and it's over 100, right? And you're going to lose 20 bucks a day, and you only got 3 days till expiration. And you're going to make $44 per dollar move, right? And if you look at the $20 strike, you're only making $21 per dollar move. And if you come here and look at the $20 strike, you're making $68 per dollar move. So 68 versus 16. These people trading these contracts are going to do much better off today than these people trading these expiration dates. So keep that in the back of your mind, guys. You're going to pay a lot more for the premium to get into the contract, but if you're only looking to hold it till Friday, you're only going to lose 3 cents as opposed to having your contract expire worthless. You're going to pay a couple $100 for it.
Hey everyone, George Martinez here, and welcome to the presentation. Current time is 11:02 a.m. Eastern Time.